Hey everyone, McCain Vogel here at AGRITECHNICA in Hanover, Germany, where they're celebrating the 40th year of the event. Welcome to Conservation Ag Update.
Conservation Ag Update is brought to you by BioTill Cover Crops. Thank you very much for that introduction, McCain. Welcome to the program. I'm Noah Newman, Technology Editor. We'll check back in with McCain here in a few minutes, but first let's kick things off in Stony Point, North Carolina, where Leopold Conservation Award recipients Jimmy and Andy Gray are reaping the benefits of no-till and cover crops. Let's take a look.
Conservation has been tremendous for the success of our dairy. I've got two that are just, I feel like are heavy hitters. No-till farming and stream exclusions.
Yeah, I think no-till, just stick with it. You may not see the rewards of it the first year or two. Just building up your soil health will have some long-term advantages that you'll see in 2 or 3 years and many years to come.
If you don't till that ground, last year's plants that have died and gone, well, their roots are dying out, and there's an area that water can go and you can recharge groundwater. And the roots that were there 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, it's all there. That soil heals itself. Soil health is all about that. And then that vegetation is there not only to make the stream banks stop eroding, but if you have a large rain event, that vegetation will lay over like shingles on a roof and protect the soil.
And you can read more about the Gray's conservation practices on sandcountyfoundation.org. Well, from Stony Point to Rock Creek, Minnesota, now where Jon Stevens continues to prove no-till can work in even the toughest conditions, Jon's Yield Monitor tells the story of a successful growing season as we hop in the cab with him.
Corn on corn is not very common for here in east central Minnesota, let alone corn on corn, no-till. Look at there, we're carrying 260 for a little bit of a ways. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. Just think, you could win a plaque, a National Corn Growers Award in other parts of the country for 300 bushel corn. Nobody recognizes east central Minnesota for growing good crops. On forums I've read where people come over here to laugh at us and how we do stuff. And so for our area to have a monitor just sit like that is, I'm proud. Let's say blessed. God has very much blessed this field.
Great stuff there from Jon, and he says that field received a foliar feed with drones around V5. Now let's send it back out to McCain Vogel for a look at some cool new technology at AGRITECHNICA.
Thanks, Noah. McCain Vogel here in Hanover, Germany at AGRITECHNICA, where there is lots of ag technology and innovation on display. Why don't we send it off to the Cover Crop Connection segment right now and see what kind of cover crop technology we have going on here in Germany.
This is a spot spray system. We have sensors that we mount on spray booms, and what the sensor does, it will basically talk with the chlorophyll in your plants, and it will be able to detect the weeds. It can do that up to really fast speeds and really high precision. So we have a nozzle every 10 inches, and it will fire just that 10 inches of nozzle spacing if there's a small weed. It can detect up to pinky-sized weeds, and it's high accuracy. What it also has, it does your whole broadcast spraying, full cover spraying. It can detect rows and do row recognition. Also, what it does is it can map biomass. So if you're doing any in-crop spraying for just full cover spraying, it can live map the biomass, and that way those maps will be synced to the cloud and it can be used later on. So for no-till farming, the biggest issue is probably weed control when there's no crop. The green on brown detection in this system is probably the most stable one on the market.
Well, as you can see, there is some conservation agriculture on display here, even in Germany. That's all for this week. Until next time, I'm McCain Vogel. Back to you, Noah.
Good stuff. Thanks so much, McCain. Safe travels back. Sticking with the technology theme, I tagged along with the precision crew at John Deere dealer Reister and Schnell in eastern Wisconsin a couple days ago. And they told me there's one technology in particular that's really paying off for farmers this growing season.
Big one that we're utilizing here into harvest is AutoPath. So that would have been something we would have set up this spring with putting a receiver on the planter and mapping every single corn row through the field. So that basically sets up for our application passes and our harvest passes to where that equipment pulls in the field. It knows where every single corn row is in the field, and that generates passes for the headlands and for the rows to be the most efficient through the field as possible. So the customer doesn't have to count rows when they're getting in with the sprayer or the combine or the side dress machine. It automatically knows where they need to be in that field, and it continues to put those passes in that same exact spot if you're pulling in, multiple times with like an application piece. So been a huge take rate on that as we get into the season of application and harvest. Once customers utilize it, they often question why they didn't do it earlier.
All right, moving on. How dry should your corn be before you start harvesting it? Jason Webster is tackling that question at Precision Planting's PTI farm. And he says so far 24 to 26% is looking like the sweet spot in their phantom yield loss study.
I'm $7.64 an acre ahead at 26% than 24% corn. If I let corn get down to 19% corn, I'm over $10 ahead, and 16% corn. There's a lot of folks that let their corn dry down because they don't want to pay charges, but I'm actually losing near $30 an acre by doing that. And so the numbers say right now here at the PTI farm, granted it's only been 2 years, we want to look at more years to see the difference in commodity price and the cost of drying. But right now our data would say if we've got a grain dryer on the farm, 24 to 26% corn has been kind of the sweet spot for us. And we're going to stay there until the numbers prove us otherwise. And I do think, on the last note, I do think it's interesting looking at the overall dollar advantages of on-farm drying versus going to my local grain elevator. I'm $54 to $66 an acre ahead by drying my own corn and not paying the excess shrink charges. And I think those are pretty significant. $54 to $66 an acre. Even dry corn, letting it go down to 16% corn, that's $11 an acre advantage by me drying corn up here at the farm.
Very interesting. Webster says next year will be very important because it's the third year of the trial, so that will give them a nice set of data to really make a more definitive conclusion. And let's wrap things up with some no-till knowledge from soil health legend Ray Archuleta. He explains the science behind no-till drills in our video of the week.
Why are no-till drills so heavy? Many have said that because the ground is so compacted. Well, that's only partially true. The main reason, too, is that they can actually plant into heavy residue, and you can plant to living covers. If you plant in these living covers, you take care of the compaction and the hard ground. Please understand, no-till without living covers is not an adequate system. That's not a regenerative system. No-till by itself is not regenerative. Why do I like no-till? Because it stops the disruption and the destructiveness of the soil ecosystem. I want to lessen disturbance.
All right, that'll do it for this episode. Story idea, shoot me an email in newman@lessitermedia.com. Thanks so much for tuning into Conservation Ag Update. Before we go, let's send it out to Marion Calmer for a preview of his upcoming No-Till Conference presentation. Marion, take it away.
Hi, I'm Marion Calmer, and I'm a no-tiller from Western Illinois. And at this year's National No-Till Conference, I'm going to be talking about fertilizer placement with strip-till and combining it with cover crops. We're going to talk about supercharging those no-till yields with foliar applications in both corn and beans. We're going to talk about early planted soybeans, and we're going to talk about short corn. Some of the new things that are coming into agriculture. I look forward to seeing you this January in St. Louis at the National No-Till Conference.